everybody, Dave here from the British Trucking Channel. Today we're going to be playing you a clip that was created by Reverend Simon Sideways, who is a trucker in the southwest, and he created this clip all about why truck drivers are leaving the industry. It's a real good watch and I think you should watch it. If you do like the video, give us a like at the end of the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe if you would, that would be great. Great to have you on board. And let's watch this video. It's really, really good. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below if you want to see any more of his videos. And let's go.
Welcome to the truck driving industry, where everything's rosy and there are no problems, where the wages are great, the conditions are brilliant, but for some strange reason, they just can't get enough bums on seats. Can't think why.
The haulage industry is facing a recruitment crisis. Currently, there's an estimated shortfall of 45,000 drivers, which some blame on uncertainty caused by Brexit.
It's got to do with Brexit. It's wages. The wages are appalling. You couldn't feed a fucking small cat on the fucking wages I get paid. Not just that, the conditions all around the industry are absolutely fucking shit as well. So, let's see what great idea you've got to combat the driver shortage.
Well, now a new scheme is underway aimed at encouraging former prisoners from Derbyshire and ex-military personnel to become truck drivers. Phil Brewster reports.
For the right person, a career as an HGV driver can be both rewarding and lucrative, but it seems that message isn't getting through. Currently, there's a shortfall of 45,000 drivers needed to work in the haulage industry. For this Midlands company, one of the reasons behind it is all the uncertainty surrounding Brexit.
There's a lot of Eastern European drivers in the industry that are either thinking, well, perhaps I shouldn't be here and I should be going home because the exchange rate's not in our favour, and perhaps I don't feel that they're going to have a job in the future.
Well, I fucking heard it all, I really am. But let's just put this into perspective. The idea of giving an ex-criminal a job after he's come out of prison is a great idea. Brilliant. I don't mind that at all. And ex-military, that was one of the first things they did in the old days. Right, you're about to leave. Before you leave, you have an option of this we can retrain you for. So the military bit is nothing new. And they're saying that a lot of ex-Polish and so on people are worried about the exchange rate. No, it's not. What's happened is you didn't put the wages up. So back when Poland was allowed to come into England, you thought, well, they're used to such utterly shit wages, this would be great for them. And it was. But after a short while, the Polish people, being very clever, cottoned on to the fact that they were getting so they weren't quite so interested. So you then bring in the Romanians. Same thing. Romanians got clued up and went, well, actually, I think we're getting bummed here. We're not getting a great deal. So they got bored, made a load of money, f***ed off home. A lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them did. And now you're looking for the next bunch of people to bring into the country. And unfortunately, the next load that you imported into our country don't want to work. Well, fancy that. That comes as a great shock. So what was it you did after that? Rather than put the wages up like you should have done to keep the people in the industry, you then went for this great idea called warehouse to wheels. You're not going to mention that in this advert or video or program or whatever you fucking call it. Get your words right, Si. But the fact of the matter is, rather than pay the wages, you went hunting through the warehouses, advertising to people that they could get a job on the road, didn't you? Yeah. You thought this would be a great idea. Rather than put the rate up, that you'd have to shell out a small amount, right, from these big places like the superstores and stuff like that and other great places. And 1 or 2 weeks of training would get you some cheap labour. The guy would then be tied into you, or the girl, for 2 years, couldn't go anywhere else, and you had yourself somebody cheap to put in the seat. Didn't work out very well though, did it? Because what actually happened is you went to train these people up and half of them thought, well, I've no interest in driving a lorry, but it gets me out of the factory for a couple of weeks and we'll have a laugh. So at least half of them failed straight away. I think it was actually more than half. I think it was somewhere in the region of 60%, right, failed immediately. And then the rest of them, I don't know of many. I think I know about 2 or 3 at the place I was at, and they put a shitload through that actually stuck at the job because they realised it really wasn't for them. Shit hours, very lonely, antisocial, not good for a relationship, so on and so forth. So You could dress it up any amount you like about it being Brexit, but that's an absolute crock of shit. But let's just hear what he's got to say.
To plug the gap, a new scheme called the Road to Logistics is underway. The idea is to recruit more British workers in the run-up to Brexit by encouraging ex-offenders and former military personnel into the industry. John Phillips spent 4 years at Sudbury Prison in Derbyshire, but now drives a truck for a living. He says the scheme gave him the chance to make something of himself, and is grateful for being given a chance when others might have thought twice before employing someone with a criminal record.
I've got 2 kids, so it's not just a case of going to jail and thinking about getting out and perhaps going back to jail again, make some more money and go back to jail. It's think about kids need a dad in their life, and you don't need a part-time dad that you can just visit once a week for an hour. You need someone who's going to be there for them, emotionally, financially. And I think this is helping me get there with them.
A fully qualified HGV driver can potentially earn up to £45,000 a year. But with initial training costs of £3,000 for a licence, many people are put off at the first hurdle.
You're being pretty dishonest there. Up to £45,000 if you're incredibly lucky and you can haul nuclear waste, or you've got a certificate so you can actually haul fuel. Other than that, you will be on significantly lower wages. I'm in the southwest. Some drivers can earn £2,000 a month take home working for a firm, and a lot of other drivers will earn considerably less. Where I am at the moment, some of these unfortunate bastards are earning considerably less. Some places, like some of the food chains, you're looking at a basic of £24,000 a year. Now, that doesn't sound too bad when you put bonuses on top, but what they make sure they do is keep you within a certain hours, so it's very difficult to reach these bonuses, which is why they have a massive turnover through all of these places, because the drivers get pissed off and disillusioned and leave, and then go and get a job, say for instance stacking shelves at Morrison's, or well, not Morrison's in particular, but you could go, say for instance, to one of the German chains, and as long as you're willing to work, you could earn up £9.50 an hour, and you're not going to get run off the road, caught by what used to be called VOSA, fined heavily. You're not going to lose your relationship because you know where you are. All these other things, right? So you're not being very, very generous to say that you're £45,000 a year. And then you've obviously got the driver conditions. Driver toilets are the sort of place that if you go, you need all your shots first, because it looks like something out of Train Spotting, or one of those other films. You get the idea. You know where Rambo in number 2, where he's put in that shit pit by the Germans? Yeah, I know, I'm building it up a bit, but it is bad. This particular vehicle today, I'll put the picture up, but literally it looks like somebody's rolled around the 5th wheel first and then got in the truck. So you've got to wash it all down first. Little things like that. I mean, when you work in an office, you take it being clean and tidy for granted. But this vehicle here is pulling a trailer with a fridge on it. So it's dealing with food, so it has to be clean and tidy. So the hygiene in the industry isn't that good. If you work on a building site, that's different. But you know you're going to work on a building site and you expect it. But anyway, so let's see how he finishes this little one off. But at the moment, I'm not being sold, and they're not being honest.
Some in the industry are now calling for government funding to support schemes like the Road to Logistics, saying without it, the effect on the UK economy could be bleak.
If you've got 1 in 4 trucks stood, I think the economy almost comes to a grinding halt. That sounds very dramatic, but I know other business leaders within logistics and ourselves, our biggest concern is not can we buy the trucks, can we put the trucks on the road, can we actually put somebody in it to drive it?
With the average age of drivers in the UK now around 55, the need to address the driver shortfall is urgent.
So there's money to be made in the industry. Okay, you've got the money to put the vehicles on the road, but you just don't want them standing by. Well, then just simply put the rate up a couple of pounds an hour. That is all it would take to keep people in the industry. They'll put up with all the rest of the shit, like the toilets that look like there's something out of a fucking horror camp, being spoken to like they've got 2 brain cells, being directed by people that haven't got a clue what one end of a steering wheel is to the next. They can take all of that shit, and they can take VOSA, they can take breakdowns, they can take long waits, they can put up with getting fuel stolen out the tank, or their curtains slashed, or if they go on the continent, the fact of something getting lobbed through the windscreen at the ferry parts. They can put up with all of that if they're paid. And if you don't want to pay them, you ain't going to get the bums on the seat. But what you haven't worked out is no matter what little ingenious plan you come up with, If you don't pay people, they won't work for you. It's that simple. So this is my advice to the industry. Get your hand in your pocket, pay the rate, and you keep the drivers. Simple.
So, there you have it. Why the drivers are leaving the industry. Make some pretty good points, I think, there. If you like the video, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, hit the bell icon, and I'll hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.